Hello and welcome to a video tutorial of the Prompt Generator AI. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can work with the automation screen. The automation screen is where you're able to automate all of the strategies that you create or that have already been pre-configured for you inside of the strategy screen. Okay, and there's two ways to actually run automation or work with automation. You have normal strategies and you have logical strategies. When you're on normal strategies, then you'll notice that the categories and all of the strategies inside of the categories are actually different to the categories that are inside of logical prompts and that are inside of the strategies down here as well. Okay, so let me just explain exactly how all this works, and then I'm going to show you some demonstrations and examples. So first of all, when we actually create a strategy, then when we're adding our prompts inside of here, we can set if the prompt should be using ChatGPT, or if it should be using Bard, or if it should be using GPT-4. I take you over this when we go through the strategies video. But if you ever wanted to override any strategy so that it was always using ChatGPT, or it was using Bard, or it was using ChatGPT and GPT-4, then this is exactly where you're going to be able to control it. Personally, I like to leave mine as default because I set up exactly where I want all my prompts to take place in the strategy section. Okay, so now let me show you what this section is down here. So you got a minimum and you got a maximum delay. This is a delay that's used between adding one prompt to the next prompt. So for example, if we have a look at this strategy here, nope, that's a bad example. Let's have a look at a different one. If we have a look at this strategy here, if we have a look at this strategy here, you can see that there's 7 prompts in this strategy. So the software will add this prompt first of all, it will wait for a response from ChatGPT or Bard, and then it's going to wait this delay before it goes ahead and adds the next prompt. And it also waits this delay before it performs any one of these two actions down here. So let me explain what these two actions are down here. So the response retries, sometimes what happens is we add something to ChatGPT and it cuts out and it has an error. It actually says unable to generate the response, or too many characters, or whatever. It gives us an error. And then we're going to have a regenerate response. Okay, and that's exactly what this response retries is controlling. Okay, and then you have a continue retries. Many times what happens is we add a prompt inside a ChatGPT and ChatGPT doesn't complete the response and it has a continue button down here. That continue button this is exactly what this continue tries is controlling. So let's just say, for example, this was set to 5. Then the software will click continue 5 times on one prompt before moving over to the next prompt, and that's if the continue button was to be shown. Okay, now you got this option down here saying use same chat session for all keywords. Sometimes what happens is we're going to add multiple keywords down here. So we might use this one here. So for example, create an article from outline, but we want to create an article for the keyword SEO, and then we want to create an article for the keyword research, and then we want to create an article for backlinks, for example. What normally happens with the software is it will create an article for this keyword here using the same chat session, and then it will go over and create a new chat session for this keyword and then a new one for this one as well. Let's just say, for example, you wanted all of your searches, or sorry, all of your prompts to be done inside, or all of your keywords to be done inside of the same chat session, then you can check this here. Now this has its advantages on some occasions. The majority of the time, guys, you're not going to be using this. You're going to be having every single one of these being done in their own session, because we have the strategies and the prompts that actually take them through the whole journey to getting our desired output. Okay, but there are going to be occasions when you're going to use this, and I'm going to actually show you how to use this and when to work with this in the best practices videos. Okay, in fact, I'm going to be showing you how to get the best from this tool in the best practices videos. In this video, I'm just trying my best to show you how to work with this so that you can control everything. Okay, so let me show you exactly what happens here. So when it comes to selecting a category and selecting a strategy, then you're not always going to remember what's in the strategy, what's it consist of, and what do I need to run that strategy. So you can always click this strategy button after you've actually selected whatever strategy it is. And this will tell you how many prompts are in here. And you're also able to double click these prompts and you're able to see exactly what these prompts are and what the software or what the strategy is actually trying to do. Okay, and if you're still unsure what you need, oops, that just went down here, then what you can also do as well is you can click on this requirements button. This requirements button actually tells you what shortcodes are inside of the strategy, and this is what you need to add in order to run this strategy. So for example, this says keyword, so we know that we need to add a keyword in order to run this strategy. If I show you another one down here, for example, internal links LSI article, you can see from here this actually has 3 shortcodes inside of here: a keyword shortcode, a LSI shortcode, and a sitemap shortcode. Okay, some shortcodes are system specific, and you can see the system specific shortcodes by clicking on strategies and then clicking on system shortcodes. And as you can see, we've got 4 shortcodes down here, or 3 shortcodes down here. We've got keyword, we've got business details, and we've got URL. Okay, and everything else that you see down here are shortcodes that are being created by me or by you, for example, because the software is going to allow you to create shortcodes, as many shortcodes as you like, and then you're going to be able to work with them and see them, what I'm going to be showing you in this video. Okay, so this allows us to see the actual requirements. So this is how we can work with normal. Okay, in fact, I'll go through the rest of these here, and then I'll show you how to work with logical. Okay, so if you are working with shortcodes, so for example, this here has LSI shortcode and sitemap shortcodes, then we're going to see and we're going to be able to control what goes into them shortcodes by clicking on here. So use shortcodes, and as you can see down here, we have the LSI shortcode and we have the sitemap shortcode as well. I'm going to be showing you how to work with these in a moment, guys. I just want to show you exactly where these are coming from. Okay, and then you also have this role feature down here. Now, a role, I normally have it on NA. Okay, that means I'm not adding a role to my prompts. But sometimes what happens is you might have prompts. So this was actually a new feature that we added inside of here. But I am going to start to use this much more now. So let me give you an understanding of what this is. So sometimes we want to prime the AI agent or the ChatGPT session, and we want to tell them, you know what, you are a keyword research specialist and your skills are this, 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 and this. And then we're going to run through prompts asking them to give us keywords. So this role area here actually allows you to add your own roles. So for example, I've got a role down here called content writer. If I click on edit, you can see I'm saying you are an expert content writer with many skills, some of which include, and then I'm giving it some skills for content writing. What this allows you to do is it allows you to prime ChatGPT with your prompts. So if you're running a keyword research strategy, for example, you might want to give them a keyword research role. Okay, so this is something that I'm going to be digging into deeper when it comes to the best practices and how to get the best from this software. But for now, the majority of my times, I'm going to have this on NA, because I'm going to have everything inside of my strategies. Okay, and you got 2 options down here when working with roles. Okay, so if you want to add the role on its own, so if you want to turn around and say to ChatGPT, you are an expert in this, 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 and this, do you understand? Say yes. Then you'd have this here. So then this role will get added as the first prompt, and then the second prompt would be the first prompt from whatever strategy you've selected. But if you want this to be added on top of your first prompt, then you don't have to check this. You can just select whatever you want, and then this role will be added with your first prompt out of the strategy. Okay, and then you got business profile. If you can recall from here, the system shortcodes, business details is also one of the business shortcodes. So from here, there's some strategies you can create whereby you're going to be wanting to pull in your business details. So for example, if you have a look at this, I've got details about my business down here. I've got another one down here that I've just totally made up. And there's another one down here that will totally, you know, some of them are totally made up. But what this allows you to do is, let's say you got clients, you can go ahead now and create a business profile for each one of your clients, and then you might have strategies inside of here, and those strategies are saying, you know what, create me an SEO optimized article that can be used for my business, and here are my business details. And this is really cool because then you can go ahead and create articles customized for whichever business that you're going to be working with. Okay, and then to save everything over, guys, you just click on browse, you select your location, and everything will be saved over there. And you can see the logs by clicking on the logs button down here, and then see the automation logs down here. So you can see, for example, all of the automations that I've been running using this file. We're going to move over to the demo part of the video where I can show you exactly how to run these strategies. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I've selected a save path. You can click on here and you can just select your save path. So for example, I've selected that save path and I'm going to click on start. And now I'm showing you how to run a basic strategy. So here's the first prompt. We've got the results, and now we're going over to the second prompt. And the software is going ahead, or ChatGPT is going ahead and creating everything for us. Okay, so I'm going to continue to explain while this is continuing down here anyway. So I'm going to go over to automation again, and I'm going to show you how we can work with shortcodes. Okay, so if I have a look at, okay, this is completed. If I have a look at, for example, local article. Okay, I'm going to show you what a local article is. First of all, let's have a look at the requirements. The requirements say that we need an area, we need a city, we need a keyword, and we need business details. Okay, so I already know that business details and keywords are system generated, and these two here are user generated shortcodes, and these user generated shortcodes come under custom shortcodes. Okay, so when I go under custom shortcodes, I can see here we've got an area and we've got city as well. Okay, I'm going to show you how to work with this now. So if we're going to be using shortcodes, we need to tell the software that we're using shortcodes, and we do that by checking this. As soon as we check this, this now controls how many runs to make. Okay, and I'm going to be showing you why. So I'm going to go over to use shortcodes for now. I'm going to set this up really quickly. I'm going to go over to area. Okay, let's go over to city first. And I'm going to type in London. So with this strategy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two articles. But I want both of those articles to use London as the city. So what I can do is I can select this saying use same for all. And now this is going to make sure that every time the articles run, it's going to always use London for the city. Okay, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, that's been saved over. Now I'm going to go over to area and I'm going to click on show. And inside of the area, I'm going to type in Barnet, Westminster. I think they're both areas in London. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to select this now, use same value for all. I'm going to click on save. Okay, there is something else we can do here as well. We can actually wrap things around. So if I click on wrap, you can see we've got this wrap. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to use both of them in the one prompt. This is where we'd wrap it around. I'm going to show you examples of using this in a moment, but for now we're just going to use it as two different cities. So what I've done is I've added two areas, Barnet and Westminster. They're both areas inside of London. And now I'm going to go over to city and I'm going to click on show, and you can see we've only got London down here. Okay, so I've now in the requirements, I've added the city and I've added the area. Now I need to add a keyword. So the keyword I'm going to do down here is I'm going to say plumber. Okay, so I'm basically creating a local article. I need something else as well, which says business details. So I'm going to go over to business profile. Okay, and I can go ahead and create a business profile. I'll just add the name of whatever I want to call it and add my details down here. But I've actually got one down here saying plumbers for you. And if I click on edit, you can see what's down here. Name of business, plumbers for you. Years in business, 35 years. Engineer type, professional and friendly. Services offered, then I've written emergency plumbing, boiler installation, boiler repairs, and what have you. Okay, so I'm going to select this one here, plumbers for you, from the drop down. And I'm going to do plumber. And I'm going to tell the software to create two articles. Remember, I'm going to do two articles, and I'm going to go ahead and click on start now. Okay, I'm going to let this complete, and then we're going to have a look to see what's happened. Okay, so for this one, it's saying, if we have a look at the thing down here, it's saying Barnet, London, plumbers, and then details about my business, 35 business details. Here we go. So now it's creating a plumbers for you in Barnet. Now it's going over to the second article, and this second article is now using Westminster, London, plumber. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're creating multiple articles for the same city in different locations. Okay, and the way we're able to do this is by using shortcodes and by selecting what we want to use all the time. For example, this one here, London, with different areas that the software is going to rotate through. Okay, now let me show you something else that we can do with this as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you that article 1 that I mentioned down here. I'm going to go, oops, where's the articles? Article, internal links, LSI article. This is probably one of my favorite ones to work with. If I go over to requirements, you can see down here it's saying we want the keyword, we want the LSI shortcodes, and we also want the sitemap. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this strategy already, you can go ahead and click on strategy and you can have a look to see what's happening. So I'm going to go through this with you so you can understand it as well. So I'm going to say create 5 SEO optimized and engaging headings that can be used to form one in-depth article about keyword. List 5 headings only. So I'm going to do SEO. Okay. And then I'm saying now create an in-depth article outline for all 5 headings, splitting the article into 5 different sections. And now on this one, I'm saying using section 1 from the provided article outline, write an in-depth article, and then I'm saying incorporate the provided LSI terms naturally throughout the content. So I'm going to actually provide it with LSI terms to include inside of this down here. And then I'm saying down here, include related anchor text links to relevant internal pages from the provided sitemap in a seamless manner. Okay, and then we've got some more instructions, and then right at the bottom down here, you can see we're giving it the article outline, okay, using output 2. Output 2 was asking for the outline from prompt 2. Then we're giving it the LSI terms using the LSI term shortcode, and then we're giving it the URLs to create the internal links for using the sitemap. Okay, so we're doing this for all 5 sections of the article. So what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and click on SEO. Okay, I'm going to use shortcodes. I'm going to go over to shortcodes, and this time in the shortcodes, I've got LSI shortcodes. I need to get LSI shortcodes. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to go over to the editor, and I'm going to do SEO. Oops. SEO. And I'm going to click on analyze. And what's happening now is the software is actually crawling Google, and it's searching for the keyword SEO. It's crawling Google and visiting the top ranking sites, and it's going to get all of the content, cross-reference it, and create LSI terms. And now these are terms that are very important and very important to your actual keyword. Now, if you have a look, you've got things like search, SEO, Google, content, site, page, pages, results, engines. If you have a look at the 2-word ones, you've got things like search engine, search results, Google search, engine optimization. 3-word ones, you've got search engine optimization, search engine results, black hat SEO. So these are terms that need to be included inside of the content. So what we can do is we can actually feed ChatGPT. Well, this is exactly what this strategy is doing. Okay, so the easiest way to get these terms is if you go over to the software folder, you're going to have a folder called app. Inside of the app folder, you're going to have a folder called data, and inside of this data folder, you're going to have a folder for each one of the keywords that you actually search for inside of the editor. So we search for SEO, and inside of SEO, we're now going to see a folder called LSI. We're going to have LSI 1, LSI 2, and LSI 3. So I'm going to take the LSI 1 terms, and I'm going to go ahead and take the top 100, for example. Okay, so we've got 100 terms down here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take them. I'm going to copy them. Now these have got the numbers around them. So these numbers here, guys, they're actually based on the top 10 ranking sites in Google. This isn't how many times each site has actually used this term, and this isn't how many times you should use this term. These are the terms ranked in order of popularity based on how many times they were found used by the top 10 ranking sites. So this tells us the importance of these terms, but by no means does it say that we should include it in this many times. If you do want to do that, guys, you'd probably divide all of these by 10, and obviously that also depends on the size of the content as well. So you know, the best thing to do is delete all of them numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I'm going to provide you with words and numbers. I want you to delete all the numbers and only include the words, and only output the words. And I'm just going to enter them here. And if we go down, it's going to do everything for us. I've actually got a, let's have a look to see if that helps. Okay, I've got a regex snippet that we can use inside, that we can use inside of Notepad++, that ChatGPT actually created for me as well. That helps us do this, but I'm going to click on copy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to the automation screen again. I've got the articles and the internal link strategy selected. I'm already using shortcodes. I'm going to go ahead and add these shortcodes down here. So when it comes to LSI terms, because I want to add all of these keywords in the one prompt, I need to wrap it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on wrap. I'm going to open this up, and now I'm going to paste those keywords. Okay, so I've wrapped all of these up so that they all get sent into the one prompt, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my URLs inside of here. So let me put the video on pause and find some URLs to add in here. Okay, I'm going to actually show you how I'm doing this, guys, because you guys are probably going to do exactly the same as well. So I think it's a good idea for me to show you how I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I can go over to Notepad and remove some of the ones as well. I'm just going to tell ChatGPT to do it for us. Okay, so I'm going to close this here. I'm going to go over to here. I'm just going to edit this one here. I'm going to say, below is a site map. Please extract all URLs and show me the URLs only. And I'm going to paste my entire sitemap in here, and I'm going to click on save and submit. Okay, and as you can see, it's adding in all of the URLs down here. I'm just going to say show the URLs and no numbers. Okay, so I'm going to take these URLs here. I'm going to go over to the automation screen. I'm going to go over to shortcodes. I'm going to go over to sitemap shortcodes, and I'm going to click on wrap. So I'm going to wrap all these up, and I'm going to add all these inside of here, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and run this strategy, and I'm going to click on, I'm going to add the keyword SEO, and I don't want to run this 2 times. Remember, this, now that we're using shortcodes, we control how many times the software runs with this here. I'm going to run this 1 time, and I'm going to click on start. Okay, so this strategy actually works with Bard as well, which I totally forgot, but we can actually look at it as well. We can go over to strategies. We can see the very first one. The very first one's Bard. The second one is Bard. The third one is ChatGPT, and then the rest of them are going to be ChatGPT as well. So I'll close this down. You can see this work. So I just wanted to show you this as well. So here is the article outline. We're going to give it down here. We got from Bard, sorry, the article outline. So here's the article outline that we got from Bard, and then we're giving it our LSI terms that we want to include, and then we're also giving it our internal links that we want it to include as well. Okay, sometimes it adds internal links, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to watch it down here, but we are also telling it to use bold words and you know, style it in a nice manner as well. When you're working with GPT-4, guys, this works really well. It adds some real nice internal links, adds some real nice bullet points and some bold text and what have you, based on the LSI terms that we give it. Okay, so I'll put this video on pause, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the... Okay, so this has been completed, and of course, anytime we want to go ahead and look at the content, we can import it inside of the editor. So this is the content that we just created. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's added in many many internal links. So ChatGPT 4 does a very good job doing that. But you can see down here we've got 3,972 words. So anyway, let me go over to the automation section one more time, and what I've shown you now is how to work with strategies by looking at requirements. Whenever you need to work with a custom shortcode, then this is going to control how many times it's running. Okay, when you're not working with a custom shortcode and it's a normal strategy, then however many keywords you add down here is going to control how many times it's running. So for example, this article down here, if I create an article from outline, the requirements for this is only keyword. Now if I want this to run 2 times, I need to add 2 keywords. So for example, SEO and then keyword research, if it was keyword research. So then the software would do the strategy for SEO, and then it would do the strategy for keyword research. Okay, now let me show you how you can actually work with logical strategies. You just select logical strategies, and then you can actually come down here. We'll create an article from URL, and if we go over to the requirements, we can see down here the requirements is a URL. Okay, whenever we do a URL, guys, it's a crawl. So it's showing down here the URL is used for crawling. So we only need to make sure that we add a URL. So if I click on logical, I can add the URL down here. I've actually got a URL that I put down here, so I can give you some demonstrations. Okay, so when we add the URL down, whenever we work with a logical strategy, then this is going to control how many times we do the run. Okay, so I'm going to say I want to do 1 run on this URL. This is what we're going to scrape. What do we want to scrape? Do we want to scrape the meta content from the URL? Do we want to scrape the body from the URL? Or do we want to scrape the HTML body from the URL? Or do we want to scrape the HTML tags? Okay, when we do the HTML tags, then it's basically scraping the text from the URL, but in HTML tags, so it sends them the H3s and the Ps and the H4s and the H1s and what have you. When we're doing the body, we're stripping out the H1, H2s and Ps, but we're sending over all the text. When we're doing HTML body, then it's basically doing everything between the HTML tags. My favorite way, or my main way of using this, is using the body content. Okay, I'll show you both ways now so that you get a better understanding of how it works. So I'm going to click on save. I've already told that I want to use it once. We don't even need a keyword in here. Okay, so these keywords are going to be totally ignored because they're not in the strategy. We can actually have a look at the strategy to see what's happening. We're crawling the URL, and then we're going over to ChatGPT and we're saying, using the content provided, create an optimized blog post outline. Okay, so it's creating a blog post outline from the content that we crawled from output 1. And then we're going ahead and creating articles from output 2 from the outline. And we're creating different sections, and then we're saving it over. So I'll run this so you get a good understanding of how it works. I don't know if I've got another one in here. No, I haven't. And you're probably going to see towards the top, I don't know if you saw it really quickly, it said crawling, so it was actually crawling the URL. So now here's the content. It's provided all the content. I'm going to scroll down, it's not showing it. So now it's creating an outline, and then it's going to go ahead and create 5 or 6 parts of content for us based off that outline. So I'm going to put this on pause and let this continue, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Oh, but the main thing that I wanted to show you was the content, how we scrape the content, or how we sent the data over. So as you can see down here, the content is here. Welcome to Big SEO Techniques, SEO enthusiast, passion helping you, whatever. So I'm giving it the URL as well, saying the content comes from the following URL, and I'm also giving it the content. And as you can see, the content is without any HTML tags or anything like that. In fact, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on stop so that we can just save some time, and you can see how it works. So I've clicked on stop, and obviously this is going to complete before this actually stops, because it doesn't stop ChatGPT, it just stops any more prompts from being added. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to logical, and I'm going to do HTML tags, and I'm going to show you what HTML tags are. I'll click on start. Okay, I don't know if you noticed at the top it said crawling again. Okay, what we've got down here now is, can you see we've got the HTML tags, H3s and Ps and what have you. Okay, I'm going to quickly click on stop again. We're going to go over to logical, and this time I'm going to click on HTML body. I'm going to click on start. Okay, I'm going to click on stop. Okay, so the HTML body does look very, very similar to what we just showed a minute ago. Okay, but it's actually different, guys. It gives different parts of the actual page that comes in there. So whether you're using HTML body or you're just using the HTML tags. Now, if I do meta content, let's show you what this is. Okay, I'm going to click on stop. So this meta content now, learn the strategies. Okay, so basically it's giving the meta content for the URL that we're adding down here. So it's much shorter. Like I said, normally what I end up doing, and this is trying to make article outline just from the meta content. This isn't something that I was using it for, but this is what you can do down here as well. So anyway, in this video, we've explored 3 different ways that you can work with this. You can work with normal strategies and you can work with logical strategies. When you're working with normal strategies, then this is going to control how many times the software is going to run. But if it's got a shortcode requirement in there, then this is going to, you're going to have to check that you're using shortcodes, and then this is going to control how many times to let it run. And when you're working with logical prompts, then this is always going to control how many times to make it run. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.